Hello, this is Nick995. For this video, now I'm doing something where it's tracking enemies in a video in the game while playing the game. Tracking enemies or other characters or animals or NPCs throughout the game and the world. Sometimes it's linked to a certain objective in the game. Anyways, if you're watching this, subscribe, share the video, comment down below. Subscribe watermark down there, please. Press on it if you're new, please. And anyways, oops. So there are many ways to track enemies or other characters that throughout the game. One way being mind reading. So mind reading ability, like you're basically reading someone's mind. It's that simple. So Destroy All Humans does that. This is the Destroy All Humans 1 remake. Destroy All Humans 2. They basically do that where do something in it where Crypto the character you play as kind of read minds, and then so like he'll read certain characters' minds or NPCs. Reading their minds gives him intel about where this person or like this main target is, or like an evil scientist, or this mad or whatever, or like this hippie guy or whatever, a military guy. So like it give like he's able to mind scan, mind read people, and it's a pretty cool thing, right? You get to see like what the person is thinking. Like they'll say, "Oh, I'm supposed to meet this guy at a festival, or he's supposed to be at the bridge, or whatever." But like you get to read their mind and know what they're thinking. It's it's a pretty underrated power because it's like a quick way to get intel. It's like the quickest way to get intel. But obviously, you gotta be in disguise, because you gotta be really concentrating, and it's like a L1. It's like you gotta hold a L1 and X under a disguise. So while you're in a human disguise, right? He basically he can disguise himself as a human, right? He's that powerful. And telekinesis and all that. But so that's one, mind reading. And another way is really a really good one now is I talked about it before, but radar senses. Radar senses in the game. So this one there's like a radar where I have to if I find a picture I'll show you, but it's like yellow means the enemy is far away in a certain direction. Orange means okay, I getting closer to the enemy. Enemy that's kind of like a cold and hot. Like you hot or like are you the closer you get to the object, the hotter you are, like with some sort of this type of sensor or whatever. But the closer you get to the enemy, like an enemy that's super close to you, will the radar will show up red. Oops. So yeah. Anyways, if I'm gonna find that here, Ghost Recon, because it's kind of hard to explain. Jungle Storm radar. And it's a good one. It's a very good that's a very good way to track enemies. It's a very good way. So it's kind of like this. I hope you guys can see this. So basically now, what you do like when you play the game, right? The orange here means that okay, it's kind of hard to see, but the orange means that the enemy is this way. So it's this way, and then the more you go this way, the closer are you gonna get to that enemy. So like it makes you know like where the enemy is. Just follow like that circle radar sense or whatever. Radar technology device. So it's a pretty cool way. It's a very cool way to track enemies throughout the world, and like you'll hear gunfire and like the bullet sounds is very realistic sound designs for the bullets and guns and all that. It gets very intense playing it. But yeah, that's basically it. And another one, super senses. This is super senses is Witcher 3. Now you being Geralt, right? Geralt being a Witcher, right? He has super senses. Here he is right here too. I got a statue of him. I got a little statue of him right here, but he's obviously no, he's obviously Witcher. So Witchers, they have super senses, so they can hear better they can hear way better than an average human. They can smell the world, they're able to sense things that humans can't sense. So like he's able to pick up sounds from way, from kilometers away, So like it's pretty complex. Like you'll be doing like some sort of investigation, right? So there's like this investigation where you gotta investigate like a murder. Then the murderer spilled wine or something like that on the carpet, and like this based on like medieval times, kind of. I think it's like Polish mythology. But anyways, the murderer spilled wine or whatever, and then you gotta track the wine. So he smells it, and then like there's this kind of smoke in the air, indicating like your sense of smell, the scent trail. He's able to spot exactly where it came from. So this could be like 50 feet away. Like he's trying to track it to 50 feet away from where he is. Or even 100 feet away. So he's able to track the wine from that far away. It's a pretty cool thing. It's pretty. It's really really cool, and it's one of actually like it's probably like the best way to track like an enemy. And I was talking about like in general. Like imagine if we had the super senses, we could smell smells from so far away, or we could pick up smells that you can't, or let me because some of this story it's hard to explain, and there's other ones too where he picks up the sound. So like he'll be like in the woods by himself, and then he's able to pick up sound, so he can sense like a beast, and then you sense his silhouette like in the distance making this noise. Whether it be a wolf, or you got these kind of like what do you call them, like sirens. You got a lot of weird creatures, these giant spiders, a lot of weird creatures in the game, but he's able to spot them from far away. Witcher senses, that's what it's called, and he has something where you can see in the dark through a potion. So yeah, tree. So again, there's other ways. So it's kind of like this. When you play the game, the smell trail is this red, scent, right? So like he's smelling things, he's following the trail. So he's gonna follow that red smoke, kind of. So and obviously humans can't sense that. Another cool way is through a weapon. No, there's a weapon in Resistance. Really, any Resistance game. Retribution. Here it is, right here. Retribution. Resistance 3. It's called the Ogre. I believe it's the Augur. The Augur. The Augur has a scope that it can shoot through. That can shoot enemies through walls. That's pretty cool. So it shoots enemies through walls. But like it's able to see through walls exactly, so I can tell enemy is like it's through this wall. Like it'll show up like as a yellow silhouette, and then the scope is pretty cool, and then the bullets they shoot. This guy like a plasma bullet which shoots through walls, it shoots the enemy, but they're able to shoot you through walls as well. So that's like a basic tracking of the enemy, but it's pretty cool. Like you don't see that much where you can shoot through walls. It basically phases through a wall, and then it eventually hits a target or whatever. Assuming that target is still like in place to be hit. So really cool. And there's something where there's with the bullseye, the gun right here, which he's holding. The bullseye is able it's kind of like a aimbot where you can a single player, right? So you fire like this laser like at the enemy, and then your gun can be pointing anywhere, but no matter what, the bullets follow like where the laser landed on. So like if the laser landed like on the enemy, and if your gun is facing the other way, the bullets will always hit that target. So it's a pretty cool way. Woo, I'm dropping everything now. Okay, another way is detective vision. So where did I put Arkham Asylum? I had Arkham Asylum here, like just now, but Batman Arkham games, it did a great job with tracking enemies. Where our tracking again, as not only enemies, it's like objective or a crime scene, but through this it's detective. So Batman being the world's greatest detective, right? That's one of his many nicknames. Arkham Knight did something where he can basically there's like a tape, right? So it's like he's so good that he's able to look at a crime scene and he's able to break it down. He says, okay, there's like tire tracks here, there's blood here, someone left their piece of their clothing here, or something like that. So like he's able to put all those pieces together, and then he can kind of rewind or kind of fast forward like in his head or like through the simulation what happened, and then from that he's able to track things. Like he can actually track tire marks like on the road to see where this vehicle went, or this enemy vehicle, or wherever, you know. Arkham City, you know, same thing, not as complex, you know, obviously it being and you know, an older game, but Arkham City has that thing where, you know, there's a good one where the bullets, you know, this one a sniper rifle, he shoots through the glass, this one church, and then so a bullet hits a certain part like on the ground, and he's able to track the trajectory of it through the detective vision, and then there's a crime scene type of investigation mode. It's pretty cool. So he's able to track exactly where the bullet came from. You can see the simulation makes a trail of the bullet, and then you can see exactly where the bullet came from, the trail of the bullet. You know, and then obviously detective vision during stealth, right? You can see like kind of like the skeleton like of enemies are walking, you know, like walking like this holographic skeleton. So I could see like whether their heart is beating, or you know, like it kind of, because he has like this radio or whatever, like some sort of ultrasound technology where he's able to spot things. He can spot like people's hearts or whatever, and then you know, beats per minute, and then the more scared you know, like this certain enemy is, the higher that the heartbeats are more frequent. So like the higher the BPMs will be. Pretty cool. So detective vision, and there's a much more to it. Moving on, Splinter Cell games. The two I played here, similar to Batman and Resistance. You can track enemies through walls. So there's different types of. There's like a black and white type of vision goggles or whatever that you put on, a gadget. It's really, 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 really cool. But you basically see the world like in a 3-dimensional. Like you see everything in 3-dimensional objects. So you can see an enemy through the wall, and I think it was more in this one. Yeah, so you can see an enemy through the wall, through this way, that way. So you know exactly where to go and where to avoid them, how to avoid them, and which path to take. But however, like it's kind of limited because same thing with Batman Arkham Knight, where you can't use this all the time. You know, otherwise the game will be too easy. So there's jammers. There's these guys like with these jammers. They'll jam you. They'll jam your comms, and you know, you can't to the point you can't use this goggle vision or whatever, the thermal vision. I can't remember, a 3D optical ray vision or something like that. There's another one where it's thermal vision, so he spots heat throughout the world. So you can spot heat signatures. Like, let's look up thermal vision. And anything that shows up as orange in this bluish environment, that's an enemy. That's an enemy, or you know, obviously that. Then night vision, you have the regular one. Night vision is pretty, you know. Most missions are in the night, right? Now, a very nice one in tracking is in a Conviction. More so, Conviction had something where, when you're in the dark, right, everything is black and white. So you see the world in black and white. So you can somehow your character is able to see through the dark, without goggles. So no like a thermal or night vision goggles. So you can see the world through the dark, and the enemies are less likely to see you. The enemies can't track you like when you're in a shadow or like a dark room, but you can see them. You can see them, so you can see the enemy walk towards you or so. So it's like you have night vision, even though like you're like a human, but I kind of like you're like a really skilled soldier, but he basically trained his eyes to see in the dark, which is pretty cool. It's really, really, really cool. You see everything in you know, like the whole world is just in black and white, but you see yourself like as a gray. You know, you show up like as in this gray scale radiant. It's really cool. And the enemies can't track you at all. So, you know, those are ways to track enemies or objectives. Infamous, Infamous, obviously he has electric powers, right? Just look it up. You're a super. I kind of like a superhero in this game with choices and character development. But in this game, he's a conduit. So conduits they're able to absorb elemental things, so fire or ice, electricity, concrete, and all that. So with him, you basically track. You're able to track sources of electricity throughout the world. So if you're down, obviously, he relies on electricity draining like through his body to survive, right? So like when you're low on electricity, everything, the screen kind of goes a bit darker, and then sometimes though like it'll be like a power outage, so where there's no electricity, or where you have to restore this substation. I'm more so in Infamous 1, which is somewhere over there, but Infamous 1 really did a great job, but on that aspect, but like you'll be like in a drought, and then you can sense electricity sources of current throughout the world, electricity. Then you drain it. You're basically able to drain it by holding R2 if you're on PlayStation. You can also sense fragments of the ray sphere which gave you your power, gave you your powers, and then you're able to expand on the capacity of your power, so you can drain more, you can drain faster, gain more upgrades and all that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's tracking. I don't know what I'm gonna call this, tracking or finding things in games, or ways to find things in game. But that's it for the video, and let me know what you guys think of Metal Gear Solid 5 walkthrough. Please, feedback really helps. Anyways, that's it. Remember, press that subscribe button out down there. Continue to share. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share the video. All right.